Hey, what's up? How's it going? So today I'm going to show you how to do some pressure cooked pork baby back ribs. No, I'm sorry, spare ribs in a pressure cooker, and hopefully keep it quick and simple. There's videos on spare ribs and electric pressure cookers. This is my stovetop. It's a Presto. I think it's an 8-quart. So what I have down here for the liquid is a little bit of water and a little of the chicken bouillon, the caldo de pollo, a little bit of liquid smoke, about 2 cups. Here's my rack of ribs, and if you smoke them, generally you just rub some mustard on them, and then a barbecue spice blend. I didn't want to mess with it, so I just used this Tony Chachere. You could use like a seasoning salt or whatever. I have a whole pantry of spices. So I just rubbed it with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and kind of like line it around this part with the bone side sticking in. And pressure cook them on high heat for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to let it release naturally. So I'm going to pause this, get the ribs in, and then I'll come back to show you what it's like before I lit it up and get it going. So as you can see, I got the rack of ribs laying this way, bone side down, and I'm going to put the lid on it like so. Get it lined up, close it up, and once this comes up to pressure, you're going to time it for 20 minutes, and this is for spare ribs. And then once it's done, you're going to take it off the heat and let it naturally release. If you were doing baby backs, you would probably let it go about 15 minutes with the natural release, or maybe 20 minutes with the quick release. And then once they're done and cooked, I'll show you after that. We're going to take them out, put them on a rack, sauce them up, and then we're going to throw them in the oven right here at about 450 or something to just caramelize them, crust them up, and then it'll be done. But a lot of these videos I've been seeing on YouTube, they only show the damn instant pots, and not a lot show the stovetop. So again, this is a Presto 8-quart, a rack of spare ribs. We're gonna let them go 20 minutes, and then natural release. Take them out, put them on the rack, put them in the oven, and once they're in the oven at about 400, I'm gonna sauce them before I put them in, and I'll probably let them go for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll take them out and then sauce them again for another 10-15 minutes, and then we should be done. So I'm gonna cut this short, and when I get to the next step, I will be back. So as you can see, my thing is up to pressure. I turned the heat down to about medium low, and so now we're gonna let it go for about 20 minutes. But if you have a stovetop one, either you have one of these that just hisses out, or you might have a jiggler type that'll start rocking. Once that starts rocking, or this starts hissing, you want to turn the heat down and then time it for 20 minutes. And then I'll be back when we do the quick release and the finishing in the oven. Okay, so now the ribs have pressure cooked for 20 minutes, and they naturally released, and I already cracked the lid open. So here's what we're looking at now. Are these ribs. And next we're going to take them out, and we're going to put them on the rack, sauce them up, put them in the oven, and I'll come back when they're sauced up, And then we'll be back when I get them in the oven. What I'm electing to do is I'm doing them on broil for 500. If you don't want to, you could put them on a bake for 400, and you could do them for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna do them on broil for about 5 to 7 minutes, just to expedite the process. So I'll be back when I get them sauced up, and I'll show you when I put them in the oven, and we'll continue from there. So in this case, you can see this is 20 minutes on spare ribs, and you can see how much the meat is pulled back from the bone, which is quite significant, especially for only pressure cooking for 20 minutes and doing a natural release. I wonder if I did 25-minute pressure cook and an instant release, what the difference might be. So we got them on here. We're about to slather them up with some barbecue sauce and get them in the oven, and I'll be back. Okay, so I just got them sauced up. We're about to throw them in the oven on broil. So I'm gonna open her up, wipe this excess off. We're gonna throw her in. Let's put her on the top rack. So I have my broiler on. I'm gonna let it go for about maybe 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna take it out and re-sauce it and let it go for another 5 minutes, and I think the ribs will be done. So I'll be back maybe after I'll show you the saucing process. If not, you'll see the end result. So I'll be back. So it's been about 5 minutes, and on broil we let them sit there, and we're gonna put a little more sauce on top. I'm going to use our little barbecue brush and put them on, spread it out, get them all coated and covered like so. Now we're going to put them back in for another 5-10 minutes. So back into the oven, about 5 minutes. They'll be done, ready to go. So I'll be back with the final result. Alright, it's been another about 5 minutes. This is the finished result. So I'm gonna try to Adam and Eve this and only take one rib and see if I could show you the internals. See if we can grab them out. Okay. So this is one of the spare ribs. Again, if you had smoked it, you'd have a smoke ring, and you could always set it down. You could always put some sauce on the side there. But again, these are pressure cooked and finished in the oven, and they're good. They're right. They're not smoked, but if you're in a rush, they're pretty good. So that's the finished product on my rack of spare ribs. So I think what I would do differently is pressure cook them for 20 minutes and maybe do a quick release, because these are really like close to like just falling apart, but they came out good. So Again, I use my stovetop pressure cooker. If you have an Instant Pot, you can probably do the same. There's not a lot of recipes on spares. The ones I ran across were all about electric ones, and I think the stovetop ones hold a little more pressure, about 15 psi, and I think the electric ones are like 12 to 13. I might be wrong, but anyways, that's my video on pressure cooked spare ribs. Hope you enjoy it. Give it a try, and I will see you next time. Peace.